Hello, you guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm gonna be telling you guys a creepypasta about an iCarly movie. Now, this iCarly movie right here isn't real. It is definitely made up. But I hope you guys enjoy this creepypasta. And without further ado, let me go ahead and tell you the story. So it was about to almost be the final episode of iCarly. But before the iCarly episode was almost over, the directors wanted the iCarly gang to make one last movie before they were almost finished. They decided to make a movie called iCarly Goes to Puerto Rico. Now, iCarly never been to Puerto Rico before, and so this was her first time going. So iCarly and the gang are in Seattle. It's a really hot day, and the iCarly gang try to find different ways of how to relax, but it's just way too hot in Seattle. So the iCarly gang looked for cheap airplane tickets around the world. At first, Carly wanted to go to Mexico, but it's way too hot there. Then they wanted to go to Hawaii, but it was also way too hot there. So then, without. So then, out of nowhere, Carly gets an email for a cheap flight to Puerto Rico. Carly and the gang never been to Puerto Rico, but they decide to take this opportunity to finally get some well-rest summer vacation. So Carly and the gang decided to start packing up and go straight to Puerto Rico. Once Carly and the gang are already in Puerto Rico, everything seems to be going okay until they arrive at Puerto Rico. Now, when Carly and the gang land in Puerto Rico, everything looks destroyed. Carly and the gang are a little bit surprised because Puerto Rico is usually a beautiful island. But this time everything seemed like it had been destroyed. And Carly and the gang didn't know what might have caused this destruction. It could have been the storm that always happened, because Puerto Rico is a tropical place and a lot of storms do actually happen. So Carly and the gang decide to just brush off what they saw and decide to get to the hotel where they were staying at. So Carly and the gang decide to hit the beach and relax the entire day. Then, just about when it was about to get nighttime, Carly and the gang decide to go to their new home and rest the entire night. Although Carly isn't tired, at least not yet, Carly has the idea of doing an episode of them visiting Puerto Rico. So Carly and the gang decide to go explore the national rainforest, which is called a jungle. Once Carly and the gang drive all the way to a jungle, they start to record all the stuff that are in the jungle. And then, out of nowhere, Carly and the gang starts to hear a strange sound that sounded like a weird animal that made a noise. Hurr. Freddy starts to panic as Freddy asks, Sam, do you make that sound? No, I didn't. Carly, do you? No, said Carly. Carly and the gang does not know who could have made that sound because they never been to Puerto Rico before. So Carly decides to follow the source of the sound. But just as they're about to look for the source of the sound, Carly all of a sudden stops and panics a little bit. Just about as Carly is about to look for the source of the sound, all of a sudden a weird creature called the chupacabra jumps up at her. Carly decides to run before the chupacabra chases them. Carly was really scared, so Carly and the gang decide to drive back home away from the ugly monster. Then the brother asks, "Are you guys okay?" "Yeah, we're fine." Carly is already scared and decides to go straight to bed. But just as they're about to go to bed, the weird creature follows them all the way to the house. And then Carly hears a tap on the window. Carly does not know what the sound is, but decides to open up the window. And then the chupacabra stares at her. Carly was really scared and decides to go to Freddy's bedroom where Freddy and Sam were sleeping. Sam wakes up really angry because Sam does not like to wake up from her sleep. And Sam says, "Carly, can you just go to sleep already? We already escaped the horrible creature." "But I think it might have all of us," said Carly. Sam starts to get upset and goes right back to bed. And then Carly decides to go downstairs to the kitchen for a little snack. But just as Carly is about to get a snack, all of a sudden she hears a loud bang coming from the door. Carly starts to wonder, why did I ever come here? I don't like it here. I want to go home. So Carly goes upstairs back to her room while trying to listen to the beautiful sound of Puerto Rico. And then the next morning, Carly and the gang wake up to do some fun activities. Carly is a little bit too afraid to get up of bed after hearing the loud bang of the creature. And then everybody tried to calm down Carly and tell her that it was probably just a dream.